Hi everyone, it's William from Scamming Scammers Action, and we are live on our third Q&A. I'd like to thank everybody who came to the inbox with tons of questions. We're going to try to cover as many as we can today. Anna and myself are very grateful for everybody who continues to follow the page and who has been with us through the years. I'd like to start by wishing everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you celebrate in the month of December. This will be our last Q&A until the new year. So if you do have questions in the future, just bring them to our inbox. We'll hang on to them until next year, and then we will answer them. Again, I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. We've had great feedback, and we're going to start our questions in a few minutes. I just wanted to start by addressing a few things. The holiday season is upon us. Scammers are working harder than ever. We've had so many people tell us that they've had 20, 30 friend requests a day on Hangouts, on Facebook, on all dating sites. So keep that in mind. Scammers are working very, very hard as the last few weeks are coming up to the holiday, and they want your money. So be very, very vigilant, and we will continue to keep exposing and educating as much as we can through the holiday season, and make sure that you stay safe. And above all, never send money to someone you've not met in person. Don't send iTunes gift cards. Don't open bank accounts. Don't do any of that stuff. Because scammers are wanting your money for their Christmas. With that being said, I want to start. There was a lady who'd like to remain anonymous who wrote into our inbox with a few questions. And one of her questions was, where are we located and where do we work? And that's a great question. Anne is located in Australia. She's in New South Wales. I work in the United States, so I'm located on the West Coast. This enables us, as you know, in Australia, when it's daytime, it's nighttime in the States, and vice versa. Being worlds apart, this gives us the opportunity to be on the page as much as possible. When one of us is sleeping, one of us is on the page. And contrary to one person's comment made a while back, we do not work from our kitchen. We do not work out of our dirty kitchens. So just to clear that up, we're trying to be as transparent as possible. Our photo is on the page. You can see from our live stream that I am a real person. Anne is a real person. We're not going to give our home address on the page. Someone asked about, well, why don't you guys have your home address on the page? That would be ridiculous. The kind of work we do, busting scammers and doing things like that, having our address on the page would just be crazy. But with that being said, we are very transparent. We are always here. Like I said, you can see our photos. You can see I'm a real person. So, we're very open about who we are, what we do, and where we're located. So if you have any further questions about us, don't be afraid to come to the inbox and ask. We're always available. We're always here to answer your questions, as many as possible. And like I said, transparency is important to us. And just know that we are real people and we are willing to help you if you need the help. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and start with our questions. We've had quite a few, and I'm going to try to answer as many as possible. And again, I want to thank everybody who has come to our YouTube channel. It is growing, and we're going to start doing some really fun stuff on YouTube and promotions and different things in the new year. So definitely look for that. And with that being said, we're going to start with our questions. Debbie has written to the inbox. Hello, Debbie. And hi, Michelle. I see you on our comments. I have been talking to a military man from the dating site eHarmony. Everything he tells me is legit. He has even sent me lots of photos of himself and his son. eHarmony is a dating site you have to pay to use, so this guy won't be a scammer, right? He's been talking to me for 7 months and just now asked me for money because he wants to retire early. Should I trust this? The answer to that is it's a scam. eHarmony, any pay site, any pay dating site is going to have scammers. We get this popular misconception that because it's a pay site that scammers aren't going to be on there because they're not going to spend money to be on a dating site. Well, the truth of the matter is they use stolen credit cards, and they take these credit cards and they sign up for an account. They start romancing you, talking to you. They may lure you onto email. They may lure you onto phone. But they are on pay sites. Just because a site, charges you $29.95 a month to be on it doesn't mean that it's going to be scammer free. More and more scammers are actually going on places like eHarmony or other pay sites because there's a trust factor built there, and they feel like, well, if this person's on a pay site, they're okay, they're legit. And scammers know that. Scammers use that to their advantage. To answer your question about a military man, military men do not need to pay to retire. They don't need money for you to have them retire. Military men who have been in the military for a long, long period of time, especially somebody that's, a commander or a captain or, someone that's been in the military for 25 years, they have money. They have a good income. They don't need you to give them money. They don't need to pay to retire. They don't need to write to the United Nations or anybody else to retire. And it doesn't work that way. It's never worked that way. So you're definitely talking to a scammer. You're probably talking to a scammer who has a stolen credit card, signed up for the site, and went ahead and joined. So Debbie, for you, I would block that person and just move on. As hard as it might be, you are talking to a scammer. Next question we have is from Mark. Hi, Mark. He asked, are you guys law enforcement? What do you do after you find a scammer? The answer to that is no, we are not law enforcement. Most anti-scam pages, none of us are law enforcement. We've never claimed to be, we never will be. However, when we do find a scammer, we do expose them on our page. If a victim has sent money, we do direct them to law enforcement sites where they can file reports. We always stress, we don't do anything that you can't do yourself. We're all about education. We're all about learning to do all these things yourself. And that's the objective of this page. We want you to learn how to take care of yourself online, how to check if a profile is fake, how to Google, how to investigate. Everything we do, you can do as well, and it's all for free. So, check our page out, educate yourself, learn how to spot fake profiles, and you can do what we do. And if you have been scammed and you do need help and you have sent money, you can always come to our inbox. We're happy to check into things for you. We're happy to direct you to law enforcement sites or Western Unions where you can file a complaint and that type of thing. But as far as being law enforcement, no, we're not law enforcement. We're just normal people wanting to help. And yeah, we've been doing this for a long time, so we can maybe spot a fake profile quicker than you can, or we know a few tricks of the trade that you haven't learned yet, but we're more than willing to show you. And that's what we're all about. So thank you, Mark, for your question. Next up, we have Vicky. Hi, Vicky. How can I really trust someone online? Every time I turn around, there's another fake profile trying to scam me. Are there real single men and women online, or are they all fake? Do you think it's possible to find love online? Good question. Absolutely. I've been online for 20-some years. I met Anne through Facebook. I've never done any online dating before. I wasn't really actually looking for somebody, but I came across her and found her, and long story short, love story, and it happened. Yes, there are real people online. There are legit men and women who are looking for love, who do want to find that perfect someone. And it is possible to find somebody online. With that being said, you need to be careful. You need to know what signs to look out for. And don't give up hope. There is great people online looking for love. There are legit people in your country, in my country, who are looking for love. And it's just knowing what to look for, knowing to look out for the scammers, and don't give up hope, because I'm a romantic person. I believe everyone can find love. I did, and you can too. Just remember to always be safe and know to look out for the red flags. So Vicky, I wish you good luck. I hope you do find the love of your life, and if you find them online, well, that's wonderful. The next question we have is from Nikita. Hello, Nikita. Why do scammers like to say they are working on an oil rig? What's with that? Great question, Nikita. There's a few reasons for this. I will tell you that scammers saying they work on an oil rig gives them the opportunity to be away. It gives them the opportunity to not be in the location that they really are at. They'll say oil rig workers are at sea and they can't accept the money, but you can send it to my agent or my nanny or my friend or my sister. And that gives scammers the leverage to go ahead and use money mules to pick up the money for them. Or they could even just use their real name and say, my friend in Nigeria can pick up the money for me. Go ahead and send it to them. And in reality, it's the scammer. The real oil rig workers are not online chatting. Okay, they are busy. A lot of these oil rigs are out in the sea, and they don't have the internet, or they don't have the ability to sit online. A lot of oil rig workers work 12, 14 hours a day. They're not going to sit online sending you teddy bears. So if someone tells you they're working on an oil rig, it's an opportunity for them to make themselves in a different location. It's easier. They can say, oh dear, you can't have my address because I'm on an oil rig. You can't have my phone number because I'm out in the ocean. And it's just a popular thing for scammers to use because it gives them that opportunity to be away. If you talk to someone that says they're working on an oil rig, the majority of the time they're going to be fake people, scammers, because like I said, real oil rig workers, they're not sitting online. I lived in Texas for over 10 years. I knew a lot of oil rig workers, and I'll tell you right now, none of them sat on the internet sending teddy bears and flowers and wanting to get to know you better. Most oil rig workers work 10 to 14 hours a day. They go on sometimes 30 days out on the rig, and they come back in. Some work every day and come home on an oil rig. Most of those guys, they're either married with kids or they're hitting the bar after they've been working all day. They're not going to be online. So if you're talking to an oil rig worker, it's very suspicious and more than likely a scammer. So thank you for that. The next question we have is from Elena. What are some words scammers use that Americans don't? I am from Romania, and I really do not know English very well to tell if a profile is a real American. That's a problem that we have a lot of times in the inboxes. We have people from all around the world, people from Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Asia, that, you know, English is not their first language, and they don't understand that a lot of the words that are being said are not American words. You know, off the top of my head, I can give you a few. I could say that God-fearing, and we've covered this before. Americans generally do not say "am God-fearing." Many scammers will say "am David by name," and American's not going to say that. American may say "my name's David" or "hey, I'm Dave," but they're not going to say "am David," "am God-fearing." Many of the scammers use the word "queen." Americans, the majority of Americans are not going to say "I want to make you my queen." That's not a typical saying in America, but it is in Africa. There's been websites, you know, and other anti-scam pages that say, well, just copy and paste the text and throw it into Google, and you'll see that it's been used. A lot of people don't understand sentence structure of the American or the English language. You know, if you're from somewhere like Bulgaria, where you don't even have the English alphabet, and you're talking to someone and you're using a translator, a lot of stuff can get lost in translation. So, you know, there's keywords you can look for. And like I said, M David, the word queen, a lot of them use words like that that aren't very, very Americanized. And it can be very difficult for people who are not native English speakers to understand that. And, you know, when in doubt and you're not sure, you can always come to our inbox and we can check a profile out for you and tell you if it's legit or not. But I do feel for people that English is not their first language, and scammers know this, and they do target a lot of women from Eastern European countries, Western European countries, Singapore, you know, Asian countries where, you know, Thailand, places like that, where English is not their first language. And it's very hard for people to decipher, is this an American? So, you know, always look for that. Always look for the M David, my queen, I want to make you my queen. And really, above all, if you're talking to someone and you've only talked to them for 15, 20 minutes or even a couple weeks, and they're wanting to marry you and throwing themselves at you and they love you, that's a huge red flag. Normal people don't do that. So always look for that. If you can't decipher the language, always check for how they're treating you, what they're telling you. You know, you may not speak English as your first language, but you can always check what a person is saying to you. If they're wanting to marry you right away, or if they're in the army but wanting money or something like that, they're going to be fake. And that's one of the best ways I can tell a non-English speaking person to look for. Just look for how a profile treats you, not as much as what they're actually saying as far as their English and their punctuation and things like that. So I wish you luck, and if you need us, we're always here for you. The next question we have is from Trevor. Hi, Trevor. I'm talking to a woman online now for 2 months, and she says she's a model. She had to go to Africa for a photo shoot and gave me her modeling agency website. Is she legit? She says there was a problem at her location and needs some money to finish her work. She wants me to send $200. What do you think is going on? Well, I can tell you that models have agents and they don't need your money. And the reality of it is, a model is not going to be on Facebook looking for love. So keep that in mind. First of all, you know, if you're talking to a woman and she says, I'm a supermodel and I'm on location in Africa, it's probably going to be a scammer, because most models are not online talking to strange men on Facebook. With that being said, the websites, I want to cover this really quickly. Scammers do make fake websites. They do purchase websites with stolen credit cards for as little as $5 or $10. You can buy your own domain. They will make these websites, and they will make them look like real modeling agencies. They will make them look like real oil rig companies or oil companies. They will do all of these things to try and make yourself look legit. And a lot of times, you know, people will send us these websites, and we'll look at them, and we'll actually cross-check them. You can always check who owns a website. There's several websites you can go to and put the website address in, and it'll tell you who owns it. And we'll cover that a little bit later on our page and give you a link to that. But you can put the website name into this checker site, and a lot of times you'll find out, oh, it's owned by a Nigerian man, or oh, it's owned by, you know, someone that's just not even a modeling agency. Real legit websites that are companies will say, you know, Star Modeling Agency, Los Angeles, California, have all their details. A fake website is going to have Nigerian man or a weird phone number or a text now number as their business number. And so a lot of times scammers do make these websites to try and, you know, fool victims. So always remember that just because someone gives you a website address and says it's their company, it doesn't mean it's legit. Always Google, always check things out. Don't be afraid to play detective, and especially if you're talking to a model who says they're in Africa. Anyone that says they're modeling in Africa or working in Africa but they're an American, always be very suspicious of that, because a lot of times it can be a fake profile and it can be a fake website made by the scammers. So just always keep that in mind when you're doing that, and always stay safe. Don't always take someone for their word. We just had a question come in from Aileen. Is it a scammer when you can't see his profile? Besides, he asked me lots of times for money for his leave, but a retired soldier told me you don't pay for a leave. When you can't see his profile, I'm not sure what you mean by if you can't see his profile. A lot of scammers are using Messenger only now. They're not actually signing up for a profile. They're using an app online. So they'll message you, but you can't actually see their profile. And all that is they're just using an app. So to answer your question about military men don't have to pay for anything. They don't pay for leaves. They don't pay for retirements. They don't pay for medicine, doctors, any of that. If you're talking to someone that says they're a military man and they need money for a leave, then you're talking to a scammer, straight out. Military men get paid very well for their duties. And like we've covered earlier, especially ones that are retiring or close to retirement, they have lots of money. They don't need to pay for anything. No soldier pays for anything. Our U.S. military takes care of all of their soldiers. They get everything they need when they're enlisted. So you don't have to worry about paying for anything. It will be a scammer. I would go ahead and block that person on Messenger if possible and just move on. Thank you, Barbara, and thank you, Jenny. It's good to see you both. So we're going to move on to our next question we have. And we've got one from Heike. Hello, Heike. I love your page and have followed you for years. Thank you for your work. I would like to know how many people come to your message box a day. Are there more scammers now or less than years past? It depends. You know, when we had our original page with over 50,000 followers, it wouldn't be unusual to get 500 inboxes a day at all. And sometimes we would spend 10, 15 hours on the inbox. We're growing even bigger now, and with our YouTube channel, more people are seeing us. And so, you know, on a given day, I would say we get anywhere from 100 to 150, sometimes on the weekends up to 200 inboxes a day. It's pretty crazy, and it's sad. Out of the 200, say, inboxes we get a day, probably 80 to 90 of them are victims. And that's it's really hard. A lot of our inboxes are regulars that come to the page and bring us fake profiles or have a question, but we do get new people every day who have been scammed. Are scammers getting are they getting more or less? I can't really say. In the years we've been doing this, it's kind of consistent. The only thing that's changing is the scammers, the generation of scammers, they're getting younger. We're getting more young kids that are, 15 to 20 years old, whereas in the past, a lot of the scammers were, 23 to 30. They're getting younger and younger. They're doing more and more profiles that are, what I like to say, badly made, badly photoshopped, which is probably a good thing. And I want to touch on one thing about the inbox. As I've said before, we are a page to educate people. And we want you to learn. We want you to do what we do. which is check profiles before you accept them or before you start talking to them. A lot of our inboxes, unfortunately, are people that come back every single day with fake profiles and say, I don't know if this is real or not. Or victims that will come back 2 and 3 times and say, this soldier said he needs money. I sent him $1,000, but the last soldier I talked to needed $1,000 too, and I sent him money too. And it's repeat offenders is what we like to call it. And it discourages us a little bit because it tells me that people are not learning, people are not wanting to learn, or I don't know what the deal is, but people that keep coming back and keep getting scammed, it makes me, and it makes Ann very sad because all the information is out there. You can learn, you can do what we do, and it's very simple. And sadly, you know, people just keep coming back, and it's unfortunate. And we wish that people would learn, people would educate themselves, and people can do what we do. We're not superheroes. We're not special private investigators. We're just normal, everyday people, and everything we do, you can do as well. And, you know, you just need to keep educating yourself and keep doing that. Juliana, you need to hang in there. I'm sorry that you were scammed. Just know that you're not alone, and you are the victim of a crime. So, you know, hang in there. Just know that it's okay, and you can definitely heal from it. Sandy had wrote, there are scammers. My friend went through the same thing. I'm sorry to hear that. Sometimes people don't learn. Unfortunately, it's hard to tell friends and family. Sometimes they won't listen to reason, and they'll think, no, this man's real, this woman's real, and I'm not going to listen to you. And they isolate their family when all their family's trying to do is help them. And it's very frustrating. We've had a lot of victims come to us and say, you know, my uncle or my sister or my brother or my mom won't listen. She keeps sending money. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can really do other than what you've done. And some people have to learn a hard lesson, and unfortunately that happens quite often. So with that, I want to cover the next question. We've got Mike who wrote, do you think scammers are getting better at this and smarter? Well, it's kind of like we just covered. Some are, some aren't. You've got a younger generation of scammers coming up which are not very educated. There are a lot of scammers in West Africa are giving up their schooling to scam. And so many of them are very poorly educated, even more so than, you know, previous scammers. And so they're making a lot of these profiles which make absolutely no sense, and that's wonderful for people that know what to look out for. They're photoshopping heads that are sideways and crooked, and they're saying they, you know, work on an oil rig, but are also a doctor, and they're also in the Army, and they get a little overzealous with the profiles. As far as I'm getting smarter, look, there's smart scammers, there's dumb scammers. And it's always going to be that way. It's just a next generation coming up of scammers. And the first generation has taught the next, and it's always going to be that way. As far as them getting smarter, no. You know, you have scammers that are very sophisticated, and they make fake profiles that are damn good. They make profiles and websites and phone numbers. And, you know, that we've had some profiles come to us where we think, wow, you know, that almost looks real. And then we'll find something wrong with it, or the person sent money, etc. So, I think it's kind of maintaining the same level. You're going to get, you know, 10 smart scammers and 8 dumb scammers. And I think it's always going to be that way. So to answer your question, I don't think they're getting any better. I think you're just getting the same mix as that you've always had. We've got Perry Jenny, victims have to say no. If there's military asking for money, then they are fake. Absolutely. And people need to say no. If you're talking to a military man and they ask you for an iTunes card, money, food, clothes, whatever, they're fake. Simple. The military in the United States and other countries, the UK, I'm sure all over the world, but particularly what I know of the country that I live in, the military has taken very good care of their people. They have food, they have clothes, they have what's called TRICARE. It is medical care for them and their family. They don't pay for things. They don't need to pay a doctor before they have surgery. They don't need to pay for, you know, their uniforms. They're not hungry. Military men and women are fed. They're kept nutrition, you know, they have nutrition. They have snacks when they need them when they're deployed. They have food, water. They have everything they need. They have access to their money. Their families have access to their money. A lot of military men and women use USAA, which is a military-based credit union here in the United States. They have everything they need. And the USAA credit union takes care of the military families as well with, cars and auto loans and all these things and home loans and whatever they need. So the United States military and the UK and other militaries as well, Canada, wherever, they take care of their people. People enroll in the military because they want a career and they want to be taken care of, and they know that the military, we take care of our own. Even after they retire, they have the VA, they have their pensions, they have everything they need. So no, soldiers are not scrounging for food while they're deployed. They're not, sitting in a camp somewhere eating sand because the military didn't give them money. So if you're talking to a military man and the issue of money, iTunes cards, any of that comes up, block them because it's a scammer. It's not a real military man. All right. So our next question we have is from, we'll cover Sandy. Sandy has said he in Africa or America, even he gave me his phone numbers, I call him. With phone numbers, military, fake profiles, we've covered phone numbers before. They use free voicemail phone numbers. You may be talking to a military man in Texas, and he gives you a Texas phone number. A lot of times it is a voice now number, text now number, or a Google number. So keep that in mind. Just because you're talking to a military man and he's from Texas and he gives you a Texas phone number doesn't mean he's legit. And one big red flag too is if you're talking to a military man and he's in Syria and he gives you a Nigerian phone number or a California phone number and he talks to you on it, something's very, very wrong. Deployed men and women, especially to a place like Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, they're not going to be online chatting. They're not going to be online calling you with these free voicemail numbers. They're not going to need an iTunes card for their iPhone. However, a 25-year-old Nigerian playing a military profile will definitely need an iTunes card from you. So with that being said, we've got, thanks Virginia, Sabrina, Carol. Carol wrote, I got phone calls from United Federal Grant. I'll cover that real quickly before I go to my next question. Federal grant scams are rampant on Facebook. They're rampant on your phone. Speaking as an American, I'm going to tell you the U.S. government does not give you free money via phone. They do not give you free money via Facebook. Yes, the U.S. government has grants for people. It is a very long and tedious process to apply for a grant. For schooling, for grants, for things like that, you have to actually apply in person. There's applications you can do. Some are online. But if you're talking to somebody and they say to you, I got $40,000 free from the U.S. government grant, all you have to pay is $200 processing, it's a scam. The U.S. government does not charge people to apply for grants. They are done so through government websites and through government offices. So if you're talking to someone on the phone or online that says, I got $50,000 from the government for free, it's a scam. Straight up, it's a scam. And you just need to hang up, leave it, and be done with it. And so scammers are using the U.S. grants more and more and more often. And we also have a lot of YouTube videos. One of our videos does cover grants. So if you're wanting to learn without having to read a lot of stuff, and that's what we found a lot of people, no one wants to sit and read a book about how to stay safe. We have videos. We have videos that cover almost every subject from grants to romance scams to military facts and fakes. You can go to our YouTube channel at Scamming Scammers, and you can check out our videos. A lot of them are only 4 or 5 minutes long, but they will educate you on a lot of these questions that you have. Hi, Jenny, and hi, Carol. All right, next question we want to move on is from Li Zhu. Hope I got your name right. I'm from Singapore and speaking with a military man. He says he has to pay for all of his food and military supplies, including a calling card to phone me. He asked me for $1,000 US so he can survive while deployed to Syria. Should I send the money, and does military make soldiers pay for their food? Great question. We've covered this again, and I can't say this enough because people always fall for military profiles. I know I'm repeating myself on this one, but it's a scam. Military men, again, are fed well. They're given everything they need. So this person that you're talking to is more than likely a scammer, and it's probably a little African boy who's going to use your money for shoes and drugs and alcohol. So no. Again, anytime a military profile talks to you and they need, oh, I'm hungry, block them. They're not hungry. Military men are not hungry. Military men are very well built, very well fed, and are not starving. So the next one, and they also use their money for, a lot of people ask, what do these scammers want the money for? They use it for alcohol. I cannot tell you how many scammer profiles we've found that they're pouring champagne over each other and drinking beer. So always remember that your money for that military man is really going to a scammer who's going to drink it away. The next question we have is from Ursula. Greetings from Germany. Hi, Ursula. Thank you. Your country is very beautiful. I was wondering if you know why this man I'm talking to, who I know is a fake, has hundreds of pictures of one man. How do scammers get these? We get asked this quite often. The reason for this is scammers will steal open profiles. If you have all of your photos, think of your own Facebook page. How many photos do you have? I can tell you on my personal Facebook page, which is very locked down, I have over 2,000 photos. I have 7 or 8 albums filled with hundreds of photos. Now, if those photos and that profile of mine was open, you could steal literally 2,000 of my photos. And that's what happens. People leave their photos open and scammers steal them. It's not uncommon for a scammer to have a fake profile with 300 photos of the same man and his family and his kids and his car and his house. It's people that don't lock their profiles down. Once a photo is stolen or a set of photos are stolen, they go viral in the scammer world. So you have thousands of scammers using all of these photos. So with that being said, if you're talking to a profile and they have 30, 40 stolen photos, it doesn't mean they're legit. And you have to look at the whole picture. Look at what they're telling you, what they're saying about themselves. Have they asked you for money? What are they doing? And that's going to tell you all you need to know. But they do still open Facebook profiles, and we do have links on how to secure your profile so that it doesn't happen to you. Scammers can steal your photos just as well as they can steal mine or anybody's if you do not lock your profile down. So yes, you can become the victim of photo theft. And just because you're talking to a man who has a bunch of photos, it does not mean they're legit. So always, always, always look at the big picture. All right, so we're going to, thank you, Vicky. We're going to move on to our next question. We have one. This is actually going to be our last one for the session. And again, if you have more questions that you want answered, always come to our inbox. We're going to do another live Q&A hopefully after the new year. We're both very busy people, especially with the Christmas season. People are coming to us more and more, so we tend to stay pretty busy with that. But we'll hope to do our 4th Q&A in the new year. So our final question is from Kim. Hi, Kim. What do you guys think of other anti-scam pages that bash others, and are you friends with other anti-scammer pages and groups? This is an interesting question, and I thank you for asking this. Our personal view, we don't go to other anti-scam pages. We don't look at other anti-scam pages. We just do our own thing. I don't waste time reading other pages that bash pages. It's not helpful. If anything, it's jealousy, and there are certain pages on Facebook that'll make commentary about our page quite often, and we do hear it from people and say, gosh, so-and-so said this about you guys and said that you guys, work from your basement and you live in, a squalor, or you don't know what you're doing and you're helping scammers. Quite frankly, I don't waste my time, and doesn't waste your time with it. Pages that bash other pages are not helping anything. A lot of people say we all have to work together. And in a sense, we all have to work towards stopping and educating people and stopping scammers from getting money. A lot of pages do bash us. The short answer to that is we don't care. We don't waste our time pawing over pages going, oh, that person said this and this person. Quite frankly, I haven't been to another anti-scam page in years. I don't bother with them. I know we do what we do. We help people. That's all we want to do. We don't want to be #1 in the world. We don't want to be the best in the business. We just want to do consistent, good work, honest work, and help people. As far as being friends with other anti-scam groups, I am personal friends with a few other people that run anti-scam pages, but we don't work with other pages. We don't support and get involved with other pages' work. We don't critique other pages. If you run a page and you're doing your thing, good for you. I think everybody that's helping in this community is a great person. However, when you bash another page for doing anti-scam work. I think it's just a waste of your time and your energy. You could take that energy and put it into helping victims instead of wasting time ranting about some page that you don't like for whatever reason. So personally, no, we don't work with other anti-scam groups. We're not in any affiliated groups or organizations. We're a lone wolf. But the reality of it is we do good work. We help victims, and that's all we care about is the victims. So I don't care if Bob Smith, who owns, I Hate Scammers or another scam page or whatever, doesn't like me. I don't care. I like me. I like Ann. I like our page, and that's all that matters, and the people that we help like us. So that's what we care about. So to answer your question, no, we're not affiliated with any other anti-scam groups. There are good groups out there. There are good pages out there. We don't name them. We don't shame them. We don't do anything good or bad. We just do our thing. And those that critique us or bash us, it's your loss. It's your waste of your time, not ours. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you make fun of me or don't like me or don't like Ann. I don't care. So what I care about is victims. What I care about is educating people. So with that being said, that's our stance on other groups. They do their thing. We do ours. If they bash us, that's their problem. We don't bash other people. The only thing I will say is there are pages and groups who copy and paste everything Ann and myself write and pass it off as their own. And unfortunately, people that do that obviously are not educated enough to do it themselves, to write their own thing, or they're just looking for the glory. And I actually feel sorry for people that do that. If you're not able to write your own anti-scam stuff and you have to steal somebody's, that's pretty pathetic. So with that, I'm just going to close and say, we do our own thing. We're happy. And one more thing people have asked us, and this was a question that came from, I believe, Michelle. And it was, why has Facebook shut you down so many times? There's a long answer and a short answer to that. Our first page was actually shut down while I was on live TV. I was on a Danish news channel, and they shut us down. We appealed it, and we received no response. When we tried to contact Facebook's help center on our own personal pages to find out what was going on, the help button was removed from our page. We were never given a chance to appeal to find out what was going on. We contacted Facebook several times about our original page. Each time we received a reply, it was about something totally different that had nothing to do with our question. Our second page was shut down as well. The thing of it is, Facebook sees exposing scammers as bullying. They feel that you are bullying the scammers when you expose them. Unfortunately, that's the risk we take when we have a page like this. They can take us down at any time. It doesn't mean that we're not legit. It doesn't mean that we're bad people. It just means that we're violating Facebook's quote-unquote community standards. But with that being said, you have to wonder a few things. For one, Facebook allows scammers to openly trade stolen credit cards on community pages and groups. These groups are never shut down. They remained open. There's one group that has remained open for the last 7 years that steals people's credit card numbers and trades them online. That's been reported to Facebook many times. It never gets shut down. There are anti-scam pages who don't get shut down. However, these anti-scam pages are paying for advertising. They're paying Facebook to stay on. They're giving them advertisement money. They're giving them so much money a week, a month, a year, whatever. We think we're a target a lot of times with Facebook because we don't pay. We're not going to pay for advertisement. We're not going to pay to promote our page. We're not going to pay to promote our likes. We just do what we got to do. We just expose scammers. We help victims. Like I said, we're working on our website. Our YouTube channel is growing. We have a verified YouTube channel. We're going to start merchandising and doing more things with our YouTube channel and with other streaming video sites. Facebook is not the place to be to run a business. It's definitely corrupt. They definitely target us more than other pages, and honestly, my opinion is the reason they do that is because other pages pay them. They pay for everything, and we're not going to pay. We're going to spend our time and efforts helping victims as many as we can. With that being said, if we get shut down again, just know we'll be back. We're like a bug that won't go away. You squash us, you shut us down, we're going to just keep coming back, and we're going to keep growing. We're going to get our website built. We're going to do what we need to do. So a lot of people have asked why we were shut down. A lot of times we're not even given a reason why we're shut down. My personal profile, I'll tell you this, my personal profile, I've had to show my driver's license 23 times in 1 year to prove I'm a legit person. So Facebook does target us, but that's not going to stop us from doing what we do. And we're going to continue to do what we do. And, you know, they can always find us on YouTube. And we always are updating our YouTube channel, and the About section on our YouTube channel will lead you to our website, will lead you to our latest Facebook page if we get shut down. Everything we've done, from Scamming Scammers to Scamming Scammers Education to this page right now, has been saved. We're uploading it onto a massive website, which we're working on. And so everything that you've seen in the past is going to come back. It's always going to be there. And just know that Ann and myself are always going to be here for you. Even if our page gets shut down, we're always available. We're always going to come back. You're never going to lose us. And another thing you need to keep in mind is Facebook has censored our page. We've had people tell us, I go to your page link and it says it's not available. I go to your inbox and it says it's not available. Just know that's not us. That's actually Facebook censoring us. And again, we're not going to pay them money. They're very, very corrupt in a lot of things they do, and we refuse to put money into the corruption. But our YouTube channel is called Scamming Scammers. We just recently were verified as a business. We were verified as a legit YouTube page. So you can always find us youtube.com/Scamming Scammers. We've got a couple more people who wrote on a page. I'm just reading these off of our thing. Lake Kami wrote, "Sir, good morning from Philippines. I just thought right now, how can stop scammers syndicate on the internet? Why not the internet try to make a program that can detect fake identities just like Facebook does?" It's a good question. You know, there's a lot of apps and things that do kind of detect fake profiles. They'll scan photos and say that's a photo being used. The best way to do this, let me say this, you know, a fake profile, if it's shut down, or if you find a fake profile, it doesn't mean that the scammer is going to go away. If a profile gets removed from Facebook for being fake, the scammer is going to turn around and make 15 more. So it's not going to stop a scammer. You cannot stop a scammer by reporting a fake profile. All that's going to do is cause them to make a new one or isolate victims to email, phone only, and say, oh dear, my page got hacked. Let's just talk on Kik. Let's just talk on Viber. So the best way to detect a fake profile is to learn from our page and just do your homework. You know, the simple way is Google a photo. Look at what they're telling you. You know, read into what they're asking you or what they're telling you about themselves. Do they say they live in California but work in Florida? And a lot of people that are from other countries, especially like the beautiful Philippines, a lot of people don't know how big America is or the distance between places. You could talk to a scammer who says they live in Phoenix but work in Los Angeles. And the profile will tell you, dear, I go home every night. Always Google places. It's free to do. Google how far is Los Angeles to Phoenix, and you'll find out, no, that person does not drive home every night from work. So that's the best way. I mean, there's apps and stuff that you could probably stop a fake profile in its tracks and see if it's real or not, but in reality, it won't stop the scammer. So the best way to stop a scammer and keep yourself safe is to learn how to identify these fake profiles and just, you know, go from there. I just want to thank everybody who came to the inbox and who has joined us on this live session. I know we're running over a little bit. We've been going for almost 45 minutes. We try to keep these as short as possible, but you know, we're doing our best in what we can do. I'm just reading these as they come in. Perry Jenny wrote, could you reply about Prince Henry? Prince Henry. So if you're asking about Prince Henry, or we've covered this before, the royal family, Prince Henry, Prince William, different things like that, the Saudi princes, a lot of them, there's fake profiles being made with these people, and they're asking for things like charity donations. While the royal family does do a lot of great things for charity, they're not going to PM you on Facebook and ask you to donate to their charity. Prince William, Prince Harry, any of these people and things like that are not going to be online PMing people. The Prince of Saudi Arabia is not going to be looking for love. We've covered this yesterday on our post. People that are worth billions and billions of dollars and who are royal family are not going to be on Facebook looking for a 30-year-old cashier from Walmart. So keep that in mind. The chances of you ever speaking to princes and famous people are very slim. Another thing I want to touch on very quickly is celebrities. We've had fake celebrity pages come up quite often. We've had country singer George Strait. We've had Leanne Rimes. We've had Bret Michaels from the band Poison, which is one of my favorite bands. People have sent PMs to us saying, you know, Randy Travis said that I can get some money if I help him with his lost luggage. I want to tell you something, and I worked in the music industry for many years. These people have people. These people have managers, they have business associates, they have people that take care of things for them. They don't need you to send them money for their suitcase. They don't need you to donate to their charity by PMing you. These are going to be scammers who are using celebrities' photos and likenesses to try and scam you. So keep that in mind, that, you know, you are not talking to mega singer, you know, Ariana Grande. You're not talking to a famous actor like Nicolas Cage. You're talking to a little scammer who's probably in Africa and is pretending to be this person. So anytime you get somebody that, you know, is famous and they say, thank you for being a fan, you've won a great prize, or I need your help, block them, because it is definitely a scammer. Thank you, Lynn. We pretty much got everybody's thing. I'm sorry to hear your daughter was scammed, Tebby. If you need any help, please come to our inbox. Any more questions that you guys have, please PM them to us in our inbox, and we'll try to answer you there. And then if you have any questions for our future Q&A, just let us know, and we will put them on the list, and we will probably do one after the new year. I may do a little short video later in the night offering when we're going to have our next Q&A, but for right now, just look forward to it in the new year. We're going to keep doing what we're doing, and in 2018, look forward to a lot of great things we're going to be doing. Like I said, our YouTube page is growing at Scamming Scammers. We're going to be doing promotions. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. So just hang out with us. Keep doing what you're doing. Block the scammers. Remember, no iTunes gift cards for Christmas. No money. Don't send money to anybody. Soldiers are not sitting alone at Christmas Eve with no food. So always remember that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close. And to answer Perry's question, yes, the Prince Henry profiles are fake. And remember, we're all about education. Join us every day. Learn how to stay safe. Learn how to spot a fake profile. We are all about education. We are all about keeping you safe and learning to do what we do so that you can stay safe, so you don't lose money. Above all, never send money to someone you've never met. Never buy someone an iTunes gift card. If you haven't met that person, hugged them, kissed them, touched them, took them out to dinner, been with them, known them, went to a movie with them in person, block them. Don't send money to someone you've never met. And one thing really quickly before I end this, if you're talking to a profile and all of a sudden they have married you on the internet, they're a scammer. No legit person in their right mind is going to marry you via the internet, and they've never met you, they've never been to your house, you've never met them in person. So if someone is calling you their wife, if someone is making you the mother of their children, they are a scammer. A real legit person with a child is not going to pawn their child off on you within the first couple hours, weeks, or months of talking to someone. We protect children. If you're a parent and you're dating, you definitely know that you don't introduce the child into the relationship until later on to know that it's going to work. But a scammer is very quickly to say, right to my son, right to my family member, right to my friend, whatever. And another thing scammers like to do, and this is very popular with fake profiles, and I can tell you, I can look at a fake profile, I'll know it's fake right away. They put their children, they put photos of children up as their wallpaper. Now, or they'll have just a photo of themselves and a child, and that's all you're going to see. Scammers also make victims their wallpaper photo. It is not unheard of for a target victim to be made. All of a sudden, you see your photo up as their wallpaper. Or they will take your photo and their photo and put it together and say, my wife, my love. Legit people don't do that. Legit people who, you know, you've just met and you have some kind of spark going, they're not going to put your photo up on their wallpaper right away, or they're not going to call you their wife. So if you're talking to, and especially a military man, and all of a sudden you're his wife and your photo is up on their wallpaper, that is a huge red flag. Legit, real hardcore military men are not going to put your photo up on their page with hearts and teddy bears and say, this is my new lovely wife. I love my lovely wife. Real military men, and I've known a lot of people in the Marines and the Army, they are hardcore guys. They like guns and ammo and hardcore guy stuff. They're not going to put your photo up with a bunch of hearts and say, my lovely wife. A scammer, however, is more than happy to do that. So if you're talking to someone and you're starting a relationship and all of a sudden you're their wallpaper photo, or they've meshed your photo with theirs and said, you're my wife, it's a huge red flag that it's a fake. And a lot of times those scammers will steal those photos and they will take your photos and they will use them to scam other people as well. So always remember that. And always run far, far away and block somebody who automatically wants to marry you. You have to meet a person for a while and get to know them before you want to marry them. And that means meeting in person. So always keep that in mind. And if I've missed anything, our inbox is always open. And always remember, we're here for you. We're pretty much here all the time. And the inbox never goes left untouched for one day. So if you know, you write to us at 7 o'clock in the morning, we'll probably get to you within 10 hours. Just depends on who's on the page. It's just Dan and myself, but we always answer our inbox. So be patient. But above all, never send money to someone you've never met. I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you celebrate in this month of December. And remember that to love yourself and always, always be good to yourself and never give money to someone you've never met. So Ann and I would like to thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time on our next Q&A. Until then, stay safe, be good, and I hope that you get everything that your heart desires without costing you a dime. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, join us on our YouTube channel, and we will see you at the next Q&A. Take care. Merry Christmas. Bye.